Hey fellas, this is Robbie speaking, and about a while ago, I did a review video of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was like the first Disney animated movie I've ever reviewed here on the channel. And so, with the 40th anniversary of The Great Mouse Detective, I decided to review this video. I mean, I did rewatch this not too long ago, and it was the second time I watched it. The first time I watched it was about a year or two ago. And I wish I watched this earlier as a kid because I feel like this is something I would have liked a lot. But for some reason, it just never ended up on the radar of our family. But it's never too late to watch this as an adult. I learned that from watching this movie. And it's not too late for you guys if you're already adults and you're trying to get away from all the immature animated movies. Great Mouse Detective is a different beast for that matter. Now, if you do the math right, this movie came out in 1986, which was a time when Disney was not at its greatest. The 80s was not a great decade for the Disney animated studios, but Great Mouse Detective was able to regain that success in both the box office and critically. Now, this movie is a bit based off a children's book series called Basil of Baker Street. This movie is the closest you're gonna get to a Sherlock Holmes movie, like Disney's own version. And Sherlock Holmes is in it, sort of, as a silhouette, which I'll talk a little bit more about in this video. And this also takes place during Victorian London, during 1897, which is an interesting setting for a Disney movie for that matter. And of course, with this having the word mouse in the title, there are a bunch of mice, talking mice, and other small creatures like rats. I mean, there's a lizard, there's a bat, and they have like their own little society, like this own little underground society where they act and talk like people and everything like that. They wear clothes and stuff. Now, the movie is about a mouse detective, of course, named Basil of Baker Street, who is basically the mouse counterpart of Sherlock Holmes, and he also lives in Sherlock's house as well. But anyway though, Basil takes on the search of a missing toy maker who is being held captive by his arch enemy, Professor Ratigan. And so when it comes to your typical detective stories, usually the bad guy isn't revealed until towards the end of the movie, but it's more about the adventure and the characters. So if you enjoy neither of those two elements, you're not going to enjoy this movie. But you can't help it because of how lovable these characters are and how you want to see them succeed and take on Ratigan and save the toy maker. Now let's talk about the animation for a moment. Now, there's not one scene in this movie that takes place during the daytime. So the only time when you get a lot of light is when they're in certain rooms, like when they go to visit Basil, or when they go to the bar, or when they go to Ratigan's lair, or they go to the Queen's castle. And when you're outside, or you're at the toy store, it's all dark and shadowy, giving you that dark feeling that something could pop out and scare you. I mean, at least we can see what's happening. It's not like, say, with Game of Thrones when you had a really dark scene and you had to turn off every single light in the living room just to see what was on screen. I don't know if you guys have ever had that problem, but I did. But that's a different story. And another thing with the animation is that it has a couple minutes of CGI. And this was Disney's first time to handle CGI. And it's pretty neat how they did it. It actually blends pretty well with the movie and how the characters are going through this CGI environment. And now on to the characters. We have Olivia, this little girl who is the daughter of the kidnapped toy maker. She's the one who gets Basil involved, and so she goes with Basil on the adventure. Now, despite Olivia getting scared for her father's safety, she does have fun on the adventure and doesn't care if her safety is put in jeopardy. Then we have Dawson, who gets involved in the adventure as well. He's pretty much the straight man of this group. He's not comic relief like other supporting characters usually are, but Dawson is still fun to have around. He's more level-headed, he's polite, he's supportive to both Olivia and Basil, and is just helpful at times. So you feel like he's a great addition to the adventure. You then have Toby, Sherlock's dog, while also being a trusty companion for Basil. He's pretty much the trusty steed to Basil and the gang, while also tracking things down with his nose. And now on to the main star of this movie, Basil of Baker Street. What I love about Basil is that there's not too many Disney characters that are like Basil. I mean, I think he's one of a kind for a lead in a Disney movie. He just has so many traits that make him an interesting character. He's smart, he knows how to do his job, he knows how to analyze and investigate certain scenes, much like Sherlock Holmes, but he can be a bit of a jerk at times. I mean, he does say things that he probably shouldn't say, but at the end of the day, he does have a caring side to him. He shows sympathy and remorse for others, and that leads him to doing heroic things and trying to save the day. And last but not least, we have the villain of this movie, Professor Ratigan. Now, Ratigan admits to himself how evil he is to himself and others, kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon villain. So, how do you make this villain enjoyable for the big screen? Well, two things. Number one, you gotta pick an actor who will take this role seriously while also having fun. And that's where Vincent Price comes in, a horror movie actor. Number two, you gotta give the villain a bit more personality than just being evil for the sake of being evil. And so they give Ratigan three sides to his personality. One, he's energetic when it comes to his evil schemes, and he can be a bit calm and collective at times. But if you upset Ratigan, he will get so angry that he will feel the urge to kill you. And it could be the smallest of triggers, kind of like a loose cannon, and that's what makes Ratigan so dangerous. Vincent does a great job portraying him, so much so that he called Ratigan one of his favorite roles. Ratigan may not be like Frollo, may not be like Maleficent, or may not be like Scar for that matter, but he's still one of the best Disney villains. If you're looking for a movie to watch with your niece, your nephew, or just some kid you're babysitting, or maybe you have kids of your own, or maybe you just want to watch a movie before you go to bed after a long day at work, then The Great Mouse Detective is a good way to go. I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. Also, how cool would it be if Basil got his own prequel spin-off series? Kind of like Better Call Saul or Andor. Like, imagine if Basil got that type of treatment without going too dark. I mean, that would be pretty cool, seeing Basil go through his younger days, going through his prime, and becoming the detective that we know of him today, and then meeting Ratigan for the first time, how they became enemies. It'd be a great series. I don't think it'll ever happen, but, I mean, it is fun to think about that once in a while. Though some people at Disney had pitched an idea, a crossover project between The Great Mouse Detective and The Rescuers. You know, the mice that save kids. And that would have been a cool project, but unfortunately, the people higher up had scrapped the idea for the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. What did you think of The Great Mouse Detective? Have you seen it? Did you watch it as a kid? Or did you see it not too long ago like me for the first time? Just let me know your thoughts down below. And if you are new to this channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and don't forget I have my book in the description down below. Get yourselves a copy, please. I'm Rob A, and may the anime force be with you.